Hello, Internet, and welcome. Why are you making that face?
Me?
Yeah.
I always make that face when we get started.
Jesus.
Have you never noticed that?
No, I hate it.
It's my
It made
starting
me
face.
really scared that something bad was happening.
No, that's my holding my breath to make sure everything is working face.
Good. Hello, Internet, and welcome to our truly professional production here. We're back with another episode of All Myths Are True, one of our Monster of the Week games here on Good Game Nights. I am your keeper of monsters, your GM of games, and your weird friend, Savvy. And these are my friends Sean and Alex, and we're going to play a game today. Are there any announcements I should make? Other than check out our regularly scheduled shit, which is on our schedule below our faces and also pinned to our Twitter and our Discord if you want to know when we do stuff.
I think that covers everything.
We also have podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
We do a lot here on the channel. We played Dungeons and Dragons and Monster of the Week and video games and lots of stuff regularly scheduled. But yeah, it's on our Twitch page, it's on our Twitter, and it's in our Discord, which you can join. Link also below our faces. We have podcasts. One of them's called Cyberscape. We play Dungeon World. One of them's called Storyboard. We play Cypher. And we do a lot of stuff. That's really all I got. Nothing super special is happening right now. Oh yeah.
Nope. Other than one of the podcasts just went up like moments ago.
Sean literally moments ago posted episode 2 of Storyboard.
Yeah.
The first official story episode of our Heroes and Villains arc. So
It was supposed to go up
check that
yesterday, but my co-editor was on a plane and
that's me. I was on a plane.
didn't have time.
Yes, I've been traveling and I haven't slept in about 36 hours. Jet lag's a bitch. I crossed several time zones and didn't sleep at all last night. And now I'm gonna run this game for you. And that's why the dwarves have magic and guns. Here we go. You guys ready?
Nope.
I guess. I mean, if you need to take a nap, Sean and I will just vamp.
That's the thing, is that I can't. Yeah, so last time, Morgan's not here today. I should say that. She is doing a responsible adult thing, I'm sure. But she's not here with us today. So it's just these two
Just
jokers.
the boys.
And me. I'm sorry for you to put your sunglasses on. Okay. Yeah, this is going well so far, I think. Where last we left off, the team of coursers, of wonderful Aegis monster hunters here, had taken on a new assignment. They are traveled to, in our last episode, the dwarven homeworld of Dreocht. Where'd my window go? There it is. They had traveled to the dwarven homeworld of Dreocht because communications between Aegis and said dwarf world had become very strained when contacted and otherwise silent, and they have been sent to check it out. They arrived relatively uneventfully, talked their way past the first gate into the main city pretty uneventfully, disguising themselves as students of the magical academy, Noctod Glane, that this place is well known for. Went around their separate ways. Periwinkle, I think you guys probably don't currently know what she's doing. Periwinkle went to orientation
And never came back.
So we're assuming for the purposes of this that she is deep undercover, probably registering for some classes and doing other things. And amidst all of the wonderful first week at a new school shenanigans that you guys faked your way into, Smith had a hunch a bad hunch. A hunch involving a gun and their friend Lefla, and raced to the rescue just as a dwarven individual pointed a gun their way, saved them at the last moment. And we're going to pick up right where we left off, with Smith currently in a little bit of, I don't remember how much harm you took last time from the telekinetic blast.
I think I took 2 harm.
I don't know, I'm not looking at your sheet.
I have 2 harm right now, so I think that's what I took.
Probably going to be it then. So yeah, Smith taking a couple of harm, using their spooky telekinesis to blast a person up against a wall, and Lefla sort of brandishing a multi-tool at them. And that's the moment we are going to live in right now, as soon as I put on some more fun music.
I'm going to take off my glasses because I literally can't read my own notes.
Let's see.
So I just look at the dwarf that I'm holding and say, "Where are the other drugs going?"
It's really loud, sorry. Okay. Yeah, so that's exciting. If you say that, the dwarf doesn't know what you're talking about.
No? Alright, never mind.
No. And I think they left off us saying that you're going to want to hear what they have to say. So what would you like to do, the two of you?
If you just wanted to talk, why did you do so at gunpoint?
As far as I'm concerned, you shot first.
That sounds patently untrue. I don't think either one of us shot anything. I don't even have a gun on me.
Stay away from me, weirdo. You blasted me into a wall.
Okay. You drew a gun.
Yes, again, I must ask, why is the gun?
It's a long story.
You got plenty of time.
Yeah, with a weird, small knife to my throat. Listen, I'll put the gun down if you put it away. Don't want to get blood all over the cobblestones.
Am I the one with the knife out right now? I don't even remember.
No, left
Okay,
was.
I just trying to remember. I was like, I don't think I had my knife out. I have my knife on me though.
Are they
I'm
lying
sure you
about
do.
dropping the gun?
Oh, you just know. No.
Yeah.
No, I think they're being honest.
Okay, so I will put the multi-tool on. Just. This is gonna be too long for a prop bit.
Do the bit.
Tuck it back away. Alright. Drop the gun and tell us why you felt the need to assail me.
Fine. And they lean down and sort of put the gun on the ground.
I am still holding them with my telekinesis.
Okay, then they don't lean down and put the gun on the ground. They try to, and then they just look at you like, can you just not for a second?
I honestly have no idea what I'm doing right now, so I don't know if I could stop if I wanted to.
Wow, you really are fake students, aren't you? Though you could stand to take a couple of classes.
No thanks, I already have my bachelor's.
Can you put me down?
Why don't you talk first? I'm not in any danger of hurting you. I want to make sure you don't run off.
Well, then I'm gonna keep holding the gun.
Fine. I let go of them, if I can. I don't know. I might just crush them.
What did you use to?
I
Is
did-
it your weird move that you used?
Yeah, I think I chose something is held fast under the telekinesis option.
Yes. I I don't think it lasts very long.
Sure.
It's because it is technically one of your basic moves, so I'm gonna say it probably doesn't last very long anyway. So, after a second, I think you probably feel it weakening, and then you can kind of release them. So their feet kind of hit the ground, lean over and kind of put the gun on the cobblestones. So, Aegis, right?
Was that obvious?
Well, I knew what I was looking for. And, there are lots of ways to find that out, but this was the quickest. Albeit, not the most comfortable.
All right, we'll talk.
What do you want to know?
How you knew we were coming, why you felt the need to threaten us with a gun. Tell us everything. So those seem like the two biggest points, but clearly we are going to have a conversation.
I feel the need to follow orders when they're given. So I did. I knew you were Aegis because I was told you were. And I was here to make sure. And based on the reaction and the sunglasses, I'm gonna say we were right. Yeah. Point a gun at someone who's not trained, they don't have that reaction.
Want to pick up the gun quickly and just check to see if it's actually loaded.
Okay.
Just like pop the magazine out and then toss it back down.
It is loaded.
Don't forget the one in the chamber.
I think Lev was like, oh, and it takes a second to figure out how to pop that one out.
Just slide it. It just slides. Okay, yeah, you got it. You got it.
I think for a second it's just like, it's just like, come on.
Oh god.
Levels up big on handguns.
I only took the mandatory. Fine. Anyways, so who told you we were coming?
My boss.
Who is?
Someone who wants to see you. So, follow me.
I just looked out at Lefla before if they're gonna start moving. Like, are we? Do you want to follow? Do you want to see where this goes? I'm largely unarmed right now.
I don't have all day.
Wasn't talking to you.
Well, then you can talk to the rest of us. There might be 2 of you, but there's 10 of me.
Who's us? What's your group called?
That I'm not going to tell you. You can stand here all you want. My friends will keep watching.
So you came at us with a loaded weapon. What assurances do we have that we will walk out of this meeting alive if we are so heavily outnumbered?
None, but I assume you came here for a reason. And your little shenanigans at the first gate aren't going to work on the next one.
I don't know. I am a very smooth talker. I give them a wink, which is mostly just like a rustling of some leaves.
Well, what I can tell you is our people are all over the city. And I can tell you that Narktod Glen isn't accepting new students.
Well, I guess what's the worst that can happen?
We die horribly, but all things considered, that's what we normally face, so...
Yeah, I don't think I'm worried about that.
I don't know. You could die horribly out here too, human. Your heads are so close to the sky, but you never think to look up. And she turns around and starts walking away.
I look down Lefla, and then I look up.
Okay, as you look up, several other hooded figures kind of come to the edges of some of the rooftops around you. Just kind of looking down at you.
Huh. Well, let's go then.
And you go. Unless there's anything else you would like to try to do first.
Not here.
I think as we are going, I'm going to try and empath this dwarf. See if I can get anything.
Do it.
This is gonna go so bad.
It usually does.
Yep, well, because that would be a 7, but I have a -1.
Oh no.
So that's a 6 on a miss. Your brain is overwhelmed with emotion.
That's bad. Don't, unless you have some help.
Is this something I can help with? I can't think of like how I would describe myself helping with the empathy roll. If this was like 3 sessions from now when I feel like Smith understands his powers a little bit better, I might be able to, but as of right now, I don't think. He's too busy bleeding from his nose.
Probably, yeah.
To
nope.
help.
I just want to remind you guys that is an option.
Yeah.
Even after a roll is made. So yeah, Lefla, you from behind this door, following them down another alley, try to reach out, opening up your brain. Let's see, your brain is overwhelmed with emotion. This one I think is a little different than the last couple times this happens. I think you kind of feel the floodgates open too wide and start to like brace yourself for whatever kind of pain or migraine that you are gonna get with this, and I think you are flooded with emotion. I think it is just this like singular kind of one track feeling of like almost like determination, or like somebody who is like very focused on this one thing, and that is like all you get from this person. Is there's just like overwhelming feeling of like heading toward this goal that they're trying to accomplish.
Okay. I think I am going to try to think those thoughts and feelings at Smith. I don't know if we figured out yet how voluntary his mind reading is, but
I think it just is.
Yeah.
You just can.
I like the
do.
idea, yeah, because I don't actually have to roll for it. It's just a thing that Smith can do. So I like the idea that if people are like trying to focus thoughts in his direction, that he can pick up on them, or they just kind of get beamed into his head.
Mm-hmm.
We can have telepathic communication.
Okay. So yeah, Lefla thinks really hard, and Smith, I think you get it. You get this weird, like, intrusive feeling of like determination.
I just like shake my head. I look down at Lefla, and I just think in their direction, and put the thoughts in their head. I was like, "How did you just do that?"
you seem to have picked up some form of telepathy. I just tried to think at you, if that makes sense.
That's creepy.
I mean, I don't know if everyone can do it. Maybe it's just because of my latent empathic abilities, but certainly very useful if we're able to talk without talking.
Yeah. Yeah. Things might get bad here. I'm just FYI. If shit starts to go down, You book it. Get Periwinkle. Contact Aegis. All right.
Yes, I think as we are going, I will try to talk with this dwarf we have not met yet, but also tap back into our communication with what's her face, looking back at the last session notes, Gemma, and just try and clue her in. Don't know if she's had any training on clandestine operations, although I would also hope that these dwarfs cannot hear what is in our earbuds.
Hopefully not.
So, saying that, going to start speaking verbally, kind of at the person, but also having opened up the thing to hopefully call Gemma and have her know.
Okay.
Um,
And real quick, telepathy. Smith, obviously, your feelings on it are however you want. You guys do know that Periwinkle can also do this
Yes.
and has done it. She hasn't done it a lot, but it has happened before. So
Yeah.
that is
Well, we went to.
another thing that you guys hold in common now.
Did we go
is
see
that-
her mom, or we were gonna go see her mom about it?
No, you haven't yet.
Yeah.
But the conversation came up. I think that was last time.
Okay. We did.
She's
talk
not
about
here
it,
to say
though.
that, so I wanted to say that.
Mhm.
So it's not the first time one of your weird friends has put thoughts in your head.
All right.
So you open up your line of communication
Yep,
to
thanks.
Gemma.
Pardon me, but we did not even get your name, and I would very much like to know who it is we are going to go see, whether it is the name of this group or even just your boss, so we know what to address them as.
You can call me Sparrow. You can call my boss Nightingale.
Big bird fans.
So what are you, as a flock or something? Is that what you call yourselves?
We don't call ourselves anything.
You just said you call yourself Sparrow and your boss is Nightingale.
No, I said you can call me that, and you can call her that.
So is that Owl, Crow, Heron, or is their names not important?
You think you're funny.
Oh, I don't think I know.
You'll know what you need to know. And what you need to know is you can call me Sparrow. You can call my boss Nightingale. And I didn't shoot you in the alley. Are we done?
Just walking and talking.
Do you also want to give us the campus tours we're going? It might make for better appearances than the three of us just trudging along.
Like I said, we can't get into the campus. Not through the gates. Any more questions?
No, just keep walking.
Because we're secret agents or whatever you are. Not super secret.
Whoever
Come on.
said we were secret.
Well, all of your literature, but... Alright. Inside. And she leads you around the back of a building. You've sort of like progressively gotten into a less nice, I think, area. The buildings kind of stand a little closer together. They're a little older. And she leads you into the back of one of these brick buildings, kind of opens the door. It's gone.
I'll go in first.
Okay. You go in. She waits for the two of you to go inside, closes the door, locks it behind you. and you sort of find yourselves in what looks to be like a large storeroom. There's lots of shelves, lots of sort of boxes sitting around. It's mostly dark back here. There are up sort of towards the ceiling. It's dim light. Up towards the ceiling, there are a couple of like white, just orbs of light kind of hanging there, seemingly suspended by nothing. And she locks the door behind you and says, "All right, be quiet." And starts walking down sort of one of the aisles.
So we follow after her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She goes around a couple of corners and leads you kind of to the back of one of these, where she walks up to a shelf and kind of starts pushing some boxes and some like loose books and everything aside. And on one of the shelves in the very back, you can see this small kind of circular outline, a few inches across, as she lays her hand on it, and just for a brief second there is this like greenish glow that lights up and then fades away, and then there's this shifting as the shelf kind of moves to the side, revealing a passage behind it.
Do I see how the magical mechanism is working with my sight?
What does your sight say?
It says you can see invisible things, especially spirits and magical influences.
Okay. Yeah, there's not really anything invisible to it. Like, it looks like there's probably some sort of like sigil scrawled on the shelf. So if you focus in, I think you can probably see kind of like magical aura coming off of it. It's a lock that opened when she put her hand on it. It's
Okay.
pretty for your money. I don't know what kind of like in-depth knowledge Smith has of that kind of thing. But it seems like there was a sigil there. She put her hand on it, and it unlocked whatever this door was.
Okay. Sounds good.
I keep forgetting you have that.
Yes, I can
I'm just
see
gonna
them.
start having you see ghosts at random times, just like.
Well, I do also
for no
get
reason.
hallucinations.
No, I'm at real ghosts.
Oh,
But
okay.
we could do fake ghosts too. You'll never know. So yeah, she sort of looks back to make sure you're still following her,
Mhm.
and starts to move down the tunnel. You walk for a little bit, and the passage sort of closes off behind you, and it's dark for a moment, and I think you can hear her kind of rustling around for a second, and then she produces this kind of crystal orb, like a sphere in her hand, and it lights up this kind of like a soft green color to illuminate the passage. She walks in silence for a little bit, and I think as you're going, Lefla, since you've opened up this line of communication in your ear after a minute of listening, I think you hear the small voice of Gemma, both of you in your ear, saying, "Did you need me, or what? Can I help?"
I think Lefla is going to kind of stop in the hallway suddenly and say, "Did you hear that, Smith? What do you think is going on here?" And thinking at him, no, I'm just making this up.
Yeah. Says, I don't know what they're trying to pull. Could just be leading us into a trap. I'm not sure. Whatever it is, we need to stick close, watch our backs.
At the very least, let's hope this Nightingale will let us walk back out of here after they say what they want to say to us.
Yeah. Well, it looked like there were only, how many of them did I see outside when we were coming in? There were
You
two?
saw the one you're talking to, and then up on the roofs, probably about 6 more.
Okay. I said, and she said there were 10 of them.
Hmm?
So I also asked to our dwarf friend Sparrow, I say, so you said there are 10 of you? Is that just the ones that are here? Is that your whole group?
There's more than that. There were 10 of us watching you.
Gotcha.
How many did you see?
Enough.
You must not have a whole lot to do if you can spare that many people to keep a watch on us.
This is important. And you sound like you need more training.
I'm a nurse, not a secret ninja spy or whatever.
And I just, I lift up my glasses and I say, and my eyes just don't work like they used to.
Well, it would probably help if you weren't wearing sunglasses in a dark tunnel, but...
Don't worry, they are prescription.
Yeah, photosensitivity.
Right. She kind of looks you up and down for a second, and then just turns around and keeps walking. And your ears are getting here. What's going on?
Can I, so we got like the earbud, like a microphone
Yeah.
set up in our ear. I'm going to just kind of like I'm scratching my ear, but I'm going to tap on the earbud. And I assume that that I would know Morse code. That feels like
Anybody
something.
would, you would.
I feel like at least SOS would be something that I would know as like, I don't know how complicated I can get with my signal. But I want to at least, if at the very least, send an SOS signal. If I can do something more complicated, maybe
You can try.
maybe be a little more like compromised, something like that.
Okay. You tell me what specifically you want to do.
Okay, I just want to tap a signal and just say, we're compromised. Prepare for extraction.
Okay. Do you still have your dealing with the agency
Yes, I do.
move?
Yeah, and that's kind of what I thought this might.
Yeah, I'm gonna have you
Work
do
as.
that.
Okay, well, it's going to be a sharp roll.
Yeah.
Well,
That's bad, right?
that's an XP, so I level up.
What happens when you fail? Because you rolled a 5.
Let's see. On a miss, you screwed up. Sounds about right. You might be suspended or under investigation or just in the doghouse. You certainly aren't going to get any help until you sort it all out.
Okay. Yeah. So your message goes through. You assume, in the simplest possible terms, telling Gemma that you've been compromised and need to prepare for an extraction. And I think there is this moment of silence. And you hear her voice on the other end, quiet, go, "Understood," and a click, and the open line disconnects.
I just give Lefla a look. Just shrug.
How much longer is this corridor?
We're almost there. right around. And she starts holding the orb up to what looks to be in front of you a dead end kind of in the stone wall, and says, "Here." And on one side, again, she kind of puts her hand to one of the bricks on the wall. Briefly, you see it light up. And Smith, this time I think you can see, there's no like visible glyphs on this one until she lays her hand on it, and then you see something very briefly kind of light up that same green color. And then in front of you, excuse me, some passageway sort of opens in the bricks as some of the bricks kind of push themselves back and open a dwarf-sized doorway.
So I bend down and follow
Level
through.
fits. Yeah, and you follow through, and she kind of sticks the orb back in her pocket, and you enter into a large sort of stone room. It is lit.
Yeah, it is.
Dimly, but it's so lit. It's dimly lit, and you can see it sort of scattered around. There are there's a lot of mismatched furniture. There's tables, there's chairs, there's things like books and papers kind of piled up on different things. I think you also see kind of a lot of equipment and things that you don't recognize. Maybe at first glance there are some crystals. There's a lot of pieces of what you can assume to be either magical or alchemical equipment that you probably don't know how to use. Smith, I think there are some like essences radiating off of these different things and items, and there are several people sitting around in chairs, a few kind of talking in hushed whispers, and at one end of the hall, there is a small group of like 4 people kind of hunched over, leaning over this large table, and you can see this like green glow coming off of it. And as you enter the room, Sparrow starts to make her way towards that table as everyone kind of looks up and takes you in and says, "I find them. What nigh?" And a dwarf steps forward. A dwarven woman, a little bit older. She has sort of this dark brown, almost black hair. It's kind of streaked with gray, pulled back in some braids. Wearing very sort of casual, kind of unassuming clothes, a few kind of crow's feet and wrinkles here and there, and she steps forward and says, "Welcome, Aegis. I think you're looking for me."
I'm not sure. What's your name?
Kylan.
Never heard of you. And Lefla knows I'm lying.
He's super lying. Well then. In that case, you've infiltrated our secret hideout. And I guess we'll have to kill you. And also, poor Sparrow for bringing you here. It's really too bad.
That seems a tad excessive, but perhaps you could tell us why you think we are looking for you? I certainly have never heard of your name before.
You've probably heard of my brother. His name's Eamon. Eamon Gala.
Oh. Yeah. I didn't know you were related.
And I didn't know you thought so little of us to lie. Your first time in our home. So, just the two of you? Really?
That's
We're the only ones here.
Shit is really out of control.
Why don't you tell us what's going on then?
All right, come on, sit down. Oh, you have credentials or something?
Why?
Just in case.
You want to see our credentials to verify that we're part of Aegis? After you've already kidnapped us.
You walked here. Of your own accord, as far as I can tell.
Think
There
subtle
was-
threats.
some coercion involved.
There was also some telekinesis involved, I think, and she's kind of eyeing you, Smith.
I don't know who would have done that.
The line.
He's
that
lying.
goes off.
She's got these lines around his head every time.
It's just like bluff check failed. Bluff check failed.
So,
Yeah.
badges or a superior I can talk to, or
Do you work for Aegis?
with. I did. Till I died. Now I'm here. It's been a long few weeks, and they've only sent the two of you, so. Badges or just something, anything. I got a lot to do.
I'm trying to think whether we would have left our credentials when we were trying to infiltrate the school or we brought them with us.
I think Lefla has them on their person, mostly just because they are like completely concealing,
Yeah.
and like I imagine most people would not think to like it would be
Root
so
around.
just- yeah. So yeah, I think Lefla will very quickly fire off a thought at Smith of like, should I go ahead and show them my badge?
I don't see any other way we're getting out of this.
And so we'll reach in and pull out it's on a lanyard still.
I think she sort of leans over and looks at it. Like very, very close. And Smith, I think you can see just ever so faintly kind of radiating from her vision this like this like dark green kind of energy that sort of encapsulates the badge for just a second as she looks it over. And then it pulls back and she leans back and she says, well, all right. Either you're legit or it's the best fake I've ever seen. Welcome to headquarters. We don't have a name for it. We don't have a name for us.
So what is it that you are doing here?
Trying to get back into Noctodgling.
Why were you kicked out?
That, my friend, is a long story. Mostly involving your people, I think.
As far as we are aware, Aegis has not had operatives here on Dreacht. It's all been communicating with your brother.
Well, apparently your organization is very compartmentalized.
Not
show you
surprise
something.
me.
And she starts to make her way over to a one of the tables, and she starts kind of rifling through some papers and gets irritated, and eventually just goes and kind of waves her hand, and the papers start to organize themselves on one of the tables, and she picks up a stack, kind of spreads it out in front of you, and says, "These are yours, right?" And you recognize among some of them some familiar looking, or at least stylistically familiar looking sigils. Smith, you have one on your arm.
Is one of them the one that's on his arm?
Did you report that it exists?
No.
Then
No.
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 Then no.
Okay. I just didn't know how much she knew.
Stylistically, very similar, and some of them you recognize from the reports that you have put in.
I wouldn't call those ours. We've run into them in the field, but we did not create them.
But you reported them.
Yes, they were causing potential harm. That is what we are trying to avert.
And I've been researching them for you. And they got me killed.
Again, I must question that. I am a medical practitioner. You do not seem very dead to me, unless you would allow a closer examination.
I mean, you can look if you want, Doc, but this isn't exactly your area of expertise. And she pulls down this collar of the top she's wearing, and you can see this huge scar, like, encircling her entire neck.
Seems like they did a bad job of it.
No, they just didn't do their homework. This is the most magical place in the universe.
It's the most magical place in the universe. Is all I could think of. Oh, that's a very deep cut that I'm not going to get into. I think Smith seeing all this and seeing where she's at right now, I think at this point, puts a thought into her head. I think the unit probably has some sort of like identification code.
Okay.
And he puts that thought in her head. Whiskey Zulu Niner hike, I don't know, something like that.
Omaha.
Omaha.
Yeah, you need to do this. And I think she sort of doesn't outwardly react at all. So I think Lefla, you probably don't even like register that this is happening. But she starts to kind of shuffle the papers back together and sort of briefly looks over at you, Smith, and then goes back to what she was doing. But I think you do get this thought back into your head, and she says, "So it's you then. Well, I won't blow your cover, I guess. Also, your telepathy is amateurish at best."
Sorry, new number. And out loud says, "So you've been researching these symbols.
Mm-hmm.
Why?"
It's the most magical place in the universe.
Okay, that doesn't really say much. What did you find?
Well, not a lot yet. It hasn't been that long, but I spent a lot of time looking and reading, casting spells. It was very tedious. Anyway, should be interesting. I was, at one point, Noctog Lane's foremost magical historian. And I died. Now I'm here. But, not much, honestly. I don't know if I should say. And I think she's looking, like, sort of very pointedly at you, Smith, just for, like, a second.
Shouldn't or won't?
Won't because I think I shouldn't.
Well, I don't know about you, Leflin, but it seems like this person wants our help and can't really do anything without information. So if you're not going to tell us, we'll just go.
then you're free to go.
Or alternatively, you would not have gone through all the trouble of having us shadowed, bringing us here, confirming who we are, just to be like, no thanks. So, there's clearly something we're able to help you with. Seems like you are able to help us. So, why not work together?
Yeah. So far, you haven't even told us what's going on. Just cut the dance and let's just get right to it.
Somebody is gonna have to roll.
I can roll
something.
to manipulate.
He should
Yeah.
roll. He should roll. Can I assist?
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to do.
Yes. That is what that felt like.
Okay. It's a cool roll, which I am allegedly very good at. It's a 12.
Right. +1 for Lafla.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, I'm doing math. At first, I was
okay.
only doing the +1, and that was going to be bad. But I have +3 charm, so that's a total of +4, which brings it to a 9.
It's okay. It was just a scary sound when you went.
Uh,
All right, to manipulate someone.
So they'll do it, but only if you do something for them right now to show them you mean it. If you ask too much, they'll tell you what, if anything, it would take for them to do it. So it's basically, why can't we work together? You need us. We can probably help you.
I think you get the impression that she is not super convinced you actually bring anything to the table.
It may be a bit early in our working relationship for you to trust us with the full details, but perhaps you could at least give us the lay of the land, and we can let you know how our particular talents may be of assistance to you. Because it seems like you have a room full of people here all working together, and so far you haven't been able to come up with much. We may be the new spin on things that you need to get the ball rolling.
Fresh eyes. All right. I can't tell you what I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Well, I don't know why it's going on. So, I worked at the university, the academy, the school, whatever I don't know what they call it on your planet. But
All of the above.
however you would like to refer to it, I suppose, for a very long time. So did my brother. Professors, advisors, we worked very closely with the Dryoct, and everything was great. I offered my services to a particular department of Aegis when they reached out to me with these glyphs, sigils, whatever you want to call them, because they had nothing. And they'd had nothing for a long time. That happened. Things started to get weird. The Dryoct started to act weird. And they, well, cut off my head for failure to comply, whatever that means, because, well, I have a bit of a problem with authority in general, but I had a very good relationship with our leader, our Dryoct, one of her advisors, and again, foremost magical historian of Noctod Glane. Spent a lot of time working to get there. Got my head chopped off for it. Not bitter, but she started to act weird, withdrawn. Things started to get strained. Factions formed. They shut down communications. No one in or out. And now I'm out here trying to get back in because my brother's in there. And other people and a lot of my stuff, to be honest. And now you're here, so I'm assuming that means communications to your place aren't that great either.
No.
Yes, we have not heard from your brother in some time now. But that's presumably just because of this embargo on communication. It's too early to say yet if it's indicative of something worse. But you say that the Dryo, this Siobhan Dreadnought, cut off your head?
Oh yeah. Brutal. Didn't even use magic. Just a big axe. And we have guns. So,
Yeah, it seems inefficient.
extremely. It took a very long time.
Yeah, it takes a long time to decapitate someone. Not that I would know.
Is he lying?
Yes.
About it taking a long time or about knowing how to decapitate someone?
I assume you can parse out which part of that was the lie. So,
You know.
about the
you
know.
Smith at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, Smith. Your decapitations.
Everybody's got their thing. Don't yuck
Okay,
us, yum.
that's a weird way to put it. And that's why we put the mature filter on.
Okay, so just so I sort of out of character understand what's going on, she was magical advisor to the Dryoct.
One.
Dryo?
Okay.
I don't remember.
Yeah. Chief
The planet
magical.
I
is
said it.
Dryoct.
I know. I said it a couple of different ways, and then, yeah, Dryoct is the planet. The Dryo is the like leader of the planet.
Okay. Shatan Dreadnought. Chofan Dreadnought.
Shaban, it's
Cinnabon
Siobhan.
Dreadnought.
You kept calling her Chiffon
That's what I have written down.
as a joke. Well, you did it as a joke once. And then,
No, I'd never said it as a joke. That's legitimately what I have in my notes.
So,
Shaban?
her name is Shaban.
Shiban.
so now I'm curious at how the web captioners get it. Okay, seems like it gets Siobhan.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly right.
Yep.
So, Cinnabon
It's
Dreadnought.
Yeah, Cinnabon Dreadnought. Yes,
Chief
the-
magical historian worked with her brother with this person. Got close. People didn't like it. Factions formed. She got her head cut off. Doesn't know what's going on the inside.
Mhm.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that's complicated. Is there... So... They just changed. Like one day normal, next day... decapitating?
I mean, not overnight.
Were you informing Siobhan of your research, keeping her up to date? Did she have any exposure to these sigils in any shape or form?
Not as far as I'm aware.
What's the nature of a relationship? Business? Or... more intimate?
I don't think I understand the question.
I'm asking how well did you know them?
The Dryo?
Yeah.
Well enough. I mean, we were sort of the... I don't know what your people call it. Inner circle, council. It's a small group of advisors. I mean, meetings every day, different expertises.
He, the project they were working on at the time was this around. Were you researching the symbols with them?
No,
They
no.
assisting with that? Okay.
I was told to keep it under wraps. So I did, against my better judgment.
By Aegis.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if this is our sort of thing. We don't really get involved with political disputes. I mean, unless it's another shifter or something. I've looked out left. I mean, it doesn't really sound like their MO, though.
No. I do have to wonder, in your research, did you try casting anything with these sigils?
Using them? No, not directly. I wouldn't until I knew what they were. I looked through every language I could think of. The basic magical histories. There's things like them, but it's... If it's magic, it's old. I mean, obviously it's magic, but if it's that sort of... It's very old, most likely.
Well, I mean, what do you want from us? To reach out, try to get in contact with your brother?
I don't know. What was your plan?
We were just sent here to find out what was going on.
Well, now you know. What are you gonna do about it?
I don't know. Instinct is to let the locals deal with it. Like I said, this doesn't sound like our sort of thing.
But at the same time, as I said to Sparrow on our way here, I can be quite a smooth talker. I may be able to talk my way in past whatever this lockdown is.
Yeah, could try that. Do a little bit more recon, see if this is something that we can get involved in. Like I said, political disputes really aren't Aegis's prerogative.
I don't think I would qualify this as a political dispute. There's no political rival. There's no... nothing.
She just got head choppy.
Yeah, she just got head choppy. Listen, the Dreadnought was... I mean, loved by the people. I mean, voted in a long time ago, and there was no competitor. I mean, there was an election and she had competitors, but I mean, it was no contest.
And this behavioral change coincided with when you started your research into these sigils?
Could have. Could have been unrelated, and I just pissed her off.
And and Dreadnought stays in power through their magical authority. They're the most powerful, so they stay in charge. Right?
I mean, we voted her in. What are you asking about term limits?
Yeah, I mean, from what I've heard is their authority is derived from their ability.
Yeah, we vote for the best to lead us.
Okay. So what do you want from us here? Do you just want us to find out what's going on? Do you want us to depose your leader?
I want you to get us in
Okay.
so we can figure out what the fuck is going on.
All right. So that's an actionable request that we can work towards.
Yeah, didn't know your people needed so much hand-holding. What an afternoon.
I'm just an implement. Point me in the direction, I'll get the job done. So,
Right.
Well, Lefla, I guess we'll get to work trying to figure out an inn for your crew here. Do you all need to get in, or is it just you?
No, but I figured you'd take a couple with you. Or even just one. I think Sparrow really likes you.
Yeah. And all of them are trustworthy?
Enough. They're not acting any different than they were a few weeks ago, and they're not chopping off heads.
Was there any other members of the inner council who also began acting strangely, or was it just the Dreadnought, and this is all coming from her?
It's hard to say. Most of them already had a stick up their ass. So, I'd say they got more... at first reserved. Withdrawn. Most of the rest of the council. And, eventually stopped giving a shit. Then, just kept following orders.
So where is the Dreadnought located? Are they at the university, or do they were somewhere else in town? Seems like everything's kind of centered around the university, so I don't know if that's where the seat of power is.
Yeah, the Dryo is head of the academy, so you're gonna want to go up the hill.
All right.
Has she made any kind of public appearances since you were killed? Has that made any kind of public outcry? Has there been news that one of the council members was summarily executed? What is the state of the current events?
Yeah, do people care that you're dead?
I mean, apparently not. I mean, outside the academy gates, no news is coming out. No news has come out in a while, and no, Dreadnought has not been seen in public in a couple of weeks, and that's odd.
But not yet worrying.
I'm
as
sure
far as the
somebody's
public
worried,
is concerned.
but what are they gonna do?
One other question for you. So you were in the inner circle, so I assume you spent time in the, is it a palace or is it a city hall? I don't know what the central building of authority is here. Dean's
The
office.
Academy, what? The central building? I mean,
All right, I'll cut to the chase.
they're all named after
Are you
dwarves whose names you can't pronounce.
fair? Are you familiar with a gem or a crystal of sorts, be on like a pedestal in a room, kind of by itself?
I think she blinks at you for a second and says, "No."
Is she lying?
Yep.
I think I would like to, or I'm going to think at Smith, just she's lying.
Yeah, no, I think this is what I do. You're lying.
And you're ugly. We just saying shit, or
We're gonna help you get in. If we get you in, you're gonna tell me what you know. Deal?
well, now you're roll to manipulate.
All right, this is gonna go very well.
Sometimes you have to roll dice in this game.
Can I have done a help out with letting him know that she was lying?
That does sound
yeah,
helpful.
yeah. I think that lead in.
I don't know if I made the best
Maybe
use
help.
of that information, but
So help out is plus cool, right?
Yes.
oh, I'll wait to see what his roll is, and then I might have another bonus that I can add here.
Okay, that's a 9.
Okay. Ooh. So you get a +1, Smeeth. Lefla, you expose yourself to trouble or danger.
Mhm. Par for the course.
Would you?
And
I was gonna say, would you say that what I'm doing right now would count as preventing my vision from coming true? Me actively working towards trying to prevent my vision from coming
toward
true.
your
Like-
like beginning of mystery
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Because I get a +1. I take +1 forward to prevent it from coming true.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're sort of very directly kind of following that thread as much as you can because it's
Cool.
not much of a thread right now.
So,
So you go ahead and make your roll.
So I would have a -1, but with the 2 +1s, that'll put me in a total of +1.
Okay.
And that's a barely a success. That's a
Wow.
7.
Okay. Let's see. So they'll do it, but only if you do something for them right now to show them you mean it.
I shoot one of her out. I'm just kidding. That's
And I think
okay.
she, as you ask her for this deal, I think she looks at you and says, "I told you I'd tell you what I could, and a half."
I want to know about the gem, though. Or at least be taken to it.
That is definitely not something I can do.
But you know about it. You know where it is.
I do.
That's good enough for me.
How do you?
It just has their ways.
I think as this is happening, Lefla, I think as briefly while she's having this conversation with Smith when he accused her of lying, I think you see her sort of pointedly look over at you, and she's kind of looking back and forth between the two of you as this conversation is going on, and you feel just ever so briefly this not pain but more like dizzy feeling just for a second, and then it goes away and she is just like looking very intently at you.
Fine. I'll tell you how I know. But not in front of them.
Secrets. All right, well, step into my office, I guess.
I can stay out here with the rest of your chums if that would make you feel better.
It would not. Come on, both of you.
Yeah, you just got a mental ping from Smith. Is like, please don't leave me alone with her.
Lefla, you do not hear that.
Oh no!
Alright.
You get a look from Smith. Please don't leave me alone with her.
Smith has this look on his face.
Alright, I guess I will have to catch up with Sparrow and the rest of the little birdies later, but let's step into your office.
All right. She kind of opens a door that's kind of hanging off its hinges. It's not a great, not a well constructed room in here. A lot of sort of like ramshackle things into kind of a small room that is just packed with like shelves around the walls, books just kind of like shoved in, stacks of books in the corners, kind of a desk off to one side, lots of papers. She shuts the door.
I
There you go.
take off my glasses. Start unbuttoning my shirt. I'm just kidding. I do unbutton my shirt, but only to roll up my sleeves. And I show the symbol on my arm. And I say, I saw it in a vision.
Interesting.
I don't know if we
She'll-
talked about it with Lefla, if I mentioned it to them when I had the vision.
The
I
vision
think-
or the mark?
The vision. Lefla's seen the mark now.
Yeah, I think the vision was discussed when we were in the van.
I think
traveling
so.
between worlds.
I think so because I know Periwinkle brought hers up, so I want to say that you guys all talked about it. Have they seen the mark?
Have
On your
Lefla?
arm?
Yeah, I showed that to them as soon as. I'm pretty sure I showed it to them when the thing happened.
Great, no secrets.
Yeah,
Don't have to keep track of that.
yeah. But he says, I saw a vision. I saw the crystal. I saw a purple light.
Mm-hmm.
There was a darkness, and
spooky.
the crystal broke. And I felt bad, like end of the world bad, which I would call Tuesday,
And-
but
Well, it's Thursday on my planet, so welcome, I guess. And you don't know anything about the crystal. Either
No.
of you.
no. I think you do, though.
And
And if we help get you inside, my goal right now, our goal is going to be to stop whatever this bad thing is from happening. So our two dumbasses can start running around on our own looking for it, and the bad thing will happen. Or you can tell us what you know, and maybe we can stop it, and maybe you don't die again.
I can stand to die a couple more times. What are your names?
Lefla?
Reading comprehension can't be real high. You did just look at their ID. So, I'm Smith.
I find it polite to ask what people preferred to be called, but some of us have an attitude, I guess. Must be the sunglasses.
And you are... You prefer to go by Kylan, then?
Well, I prefer to go by the Nightingale, but I don't imagine with your attitudes you're gonna go for that. Kylan is fine. Professor Gala is also fine. There are some others, but you wouldn't be able to pronounce them.
So what methods of infiltration have you and your people already tried so we know not to waste our time?
Magic, mostly. The thing is warded and guarded all to hell. And, well, they're not just letting anybody walk in the gates, and I can't show my face, so talking for us is out of the question.
We may have some other options. Non-magical.
I think that's your best bet. Like I said, it's the most magical place in the universe.
Well, do we have a deal then, Teach?
I think we can work this out. But I'm gonna need you to, not whisper to each other. In his head, she points to Smith. Around me, it's not great for building trust, and also I know you're doing it, so. Like I said, super magical place. She points at herself and like towards the door where the rest of the dwarves are sort of congregated outside of her office. Very magical people. You know, magic crystals and warding, and I came back from the dead a couple of weeks ago, so.
Yeah.
Amateurish at best.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't lying when I said that this is pretty new, so I don't really know what I'm doing.
I can tell your eyes are kind of fucked.
I think it makes me look distinguished.
I think it makes you look creepy. Spooky, even.
Put my glasses back on.
I think she laughs a little bit.
Hide the tears.
And you, smooth talker. She's looking at left.
This.
What do you think about all this?
Well, I think you certainly have an interest in getting you and your people back inside, figuring out what is going on. I also think we have a mutual interest in resolving these things so that whatever is going to happen to your crystal does not come to pass. I also think, and I know you would prefer to wait until we have gotten you in and things are resolved to tell us about the sigils, but if there is something that you think may be pressing about the mark on his arm that you may have uncovered in your research, I think it may be prudent for us to know about that going in, if it would either be helpful or some things that may bite us in the ass when we least expect it.
Reasonable. For once. Alright.
It's
Let me
why
look
they
at
bring
you.
me along.
Well, we all need one like you. Alright, human. Let me look at you.
I start to unbutton my shirt.
Just
I know. Is this like a examine? Okay, yeah. Here's my arm.
she looks at the sigil on your arm, and I think again from her you can see this with your sight, Smith, this like glowing very faint kind of green trail that radiates from her eyes down towards your arm, kind of follows the outline of the mark on your arm, and then goes back to her desk, starts kind of rifling through some papers. I think you see her kind of flick her hands up every now and then as some of the papers kind of float up and stack themselves and just kind of hang out there. She's like sorting through things, and after a minute she turns back around and says, well, it's not doing anything. So that's good. It's not like, waiting to explode or tracking your movements or anything like that.
I hadn't even thought of that.
I know. It's got like a sort of faint magical thing about it, but it's hard to say. The only thing I have are drawings of the rest, so I don't know. Did you didn't like make a deal with a demon or something, did you?
Not this week.
All right. Well, something gave it to you, and I'm assuming that, she points at your arms, happened at the same time as this whole scenario, and probably also the telepathy and visions and telekinesis also.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's new too. And then there was when it happened, there was also a voice.
Mm-hmm. That one that wasn't yours.
Yeah.
Or Lefla's, I assume.
Yeah.
Anything of note? Any incantations? Any chanting? Any "I'm gonna eat your soul in 7 days"?
No. Just kind of spoke to me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really remember what it said.
Right. Well, that's a lot to go on. It's not gonna like explode on you or anything in the interim. So.
That's good. So it's not, you can't like get rid of it and stop all this from happening?
Do they not have tattoo removal on your planet or? No, I can cut it off, but it's not gonna sort of change anything that's happened. There's some kind of innate connection that's happening there. I don't sort of have the time to diagnose that right now.
All right, then, worth a shot.
Yeah. So, plan? Anyone?
Right. I'm able to talk my way in and out of a surprising number of situations, so I think that's going to be our first goal. But we are fairly adept at improvising and adapting from there.
I can also see magical auras, so I can do a lap around, see if there's any weaknesses in the perimeter. Maybe find us a way we can just sneak in.
Alright. Well, I can't show my face, so you'll be taking someone else with you. Any, like, gaps you'd like to... There's just two of you. I can't imagine you're good at every conceivable situation. Any gaps you'd like to fill?
A magic user would be useful.
Yeah, neither one of us know anything about magic.
I'm just shocked.
Real crack team they sent in to investigate the Magic Academy, I know.
Well, sometimes it's the ones you don't expect.
Yeah, they may have relied so heavily on magic for their defenses, they won't even be prepared for what we come at them with.
Yeah, have you
Like
just
the way
tried
you
like
think.
walking in?
They chopped off my head last time, so... Nah.
The
As
penitent
any
man
of your
kneels.
people who can show their face without there being an issue, or are they all known sympathizers with you?
I've got someone in mind. So, any other preparations you'd like to make?
I'm ready to get started.
Is there... I think I'll say this out of character first. You mentioned there was
Yeah.
a whole bunch of fun gear and stuff in the other room.
Yeah, there's a ton of shit.
Yeah, I didn't use this in the last mystery because it didn't seem like it would really do much, but I want to use my oops move.
Yay! You find something!
Stumble across something important. Important and useful, but not necessarily related to our immediate problems.
You can do this in her office, or you just like pick something off her desk, like, "Hey, I found something useful," and walk
Or
out of
like-
the room.
Or it could be as we, go back out into the other room, and as we're heading back out, it's just like,
Yeah. All right, so yeah, I think the three of you kind of wander out of the office again, out into this room where sort of several other dwarves are kind of sitting around looking at papers on tables, some sort of messing with some equipment on the far side of the room. I'll think about what you find while we take a break. And when we come back, you'll have a new NPC friend and also a fun item that you found.
Fun
What a great
times.
little trek into a tunnel you guys had. To make a new friend or get some fun stuff. But we're gonna take a break. Real quick. So yeah, thanks for hanging out with us, everybody. We'll be back momentarily with more adventure. Welcome back, Internet. Thank you for hanging out with us. During our break, we're going to get right back into this episode of All Myths Are True. So, you exit the office, and I look at my notes, and you continue exiting the office, and Kylan starts to sort of walk towards one sort of group of people, address one of her many friends in the room, and then sort of brings one of the other dwarves in the room over to you and presents you with a friend that you can take on your mission if you so choose. But she introduces them, and they just kind of nod at you again, sort of very plain, kind of dark clothes, hood pulled up, dwarven frame, and they don't say anything. And she says, "So, this is Raven, and I think they're up for the job."
I'm sorry, you said Raven?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure I got that right. Welcome aboard, Raven.
They nod.
So we're just gonna keep on moving on out.
Great.
I imagine, looking around, you've got all this gear that most of it would have been, used in an attempt to get inside. But is there anything that you think might be useful once we get inside?
I think I've got something. And she kind of walks over to one of the desks, and you see a lot of these, like, I think from far away they probably look like glass paperweights. There's these different, like, stones and glass kind of pieces, like, sitting around the desk, and she kind of walks over and just starts just poking them, essentially. That she, like, touches one, and it kind of lights up, and you see all these kind of, like, glowing dots and lines come out of it, and she's like, no, and touches a few more, and then finds what she's looking for, grabs it, and goes to hand it to you, stops, and says, "Very privileged information. Don't lose this."
Understood.
And hands it over, and she looks at it in your hand for a second, kind of whispers a couple of words under her breath, and then says, "There you go. That should work."
And what will it do? Or is that the privileged information?
No, I just forget you. Don't. Just press the top. And you sort of lay a vine on it, and it sort of lights up, and sort of almost projecting out of it is a shiny green blueprint of some kind, and you can see on it kind of hallways and different floors and things like that. Some things are labeled, some things are not, and she says the main campus area.
Right. Well, I imagine this will come in very handy. I assume it's not so impressive as to be able to show us where individuals are.
God, I wish. Actually. And she, like, walks over to the desk and starts, like, writing something down. That one, no.
Alright. I boop the top again.
Goes away.
Alright. We will go do our thing. Raven will either report our success or a failure. Hopefully they're still alive to report a failure if it comes to that.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Every dwarf over the age of 12 has at least 2 phylacteries laying around somewhere, so.
Oh, is that how you with the
I mean, that's sort of one standard way of doing it.
Okay, so double tap if we come across anyone.
Yeah. Good
I
luck.
think I have more questions, but I don't think now's the time for those questions.
Were you gonna ask whether they had to, like, actually put my head back on my body, or?
No, it was more of if the dreadnought chopped your head off, but was presumably aware that you would have a phylactery. Why weren't they more thorough? Or how did your body get out of there before a more permanent solution could be effected?
An excellent question.
And when you are not at all inclined to answer at this moment, got it.
One I don't know the answer to.
Well, maybe we can find out if we come across the dreadnought ourselves.
Well, good luck. I'm gonna go back to sitting on my ass, I guess.
Well, have fun with that. Turn and walk away.
And they let you out of the hideout, down the tunnel, and back out into the streets. What would you like to do? You now have a friend with you who doesn't talk very much.
Okay, so this will probably be faster if we just do this planning out of character, but I think Lefla's first idea was to try and bluff their way in as medical personnel
Sure.
and just be like, I was summoned here by someone high up. They called me in from off world. I need to get in to see them. Like, this cannot wait. Whatever is going on right now, you are all in danger.
Yeah,
If you don't let me get in to check things out.
I agree with that. Could we before we go and do that, just do like a once around and kind of look around, because I wanted to do like a read a bad situation roll and see if we can get some answers from that, as like with the best place to try to enter, like if the same places that have less guards, less magical warding, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I like that. I like that ruse.
Okay.
So we do that.
You do that. Great. You do it. So yeah, you want to do your sort of lap around the edges. So yeah, essentially where you're at right now, there is like 2 tiers. The city exists essentially in like a very large set of circles within circles. But you're sort of in this outer ring right now, which is a lot of shops, a lot of housing, things like that. And then there is, from your understanding of sort of this map you've been given, another sort of large wall with a set of gates and security and things like that. So you can kind of make a lap around and roll to read a bad situation.
Okay.
Leffler, are you helping?
Yeah, I can try and help out. I guess, pulling up the map as needed.
Okay.
Probably the best way I can think of to help with this, because I can't do magics.
I'm trying to decide if the map, like, gives you something. Let's go ahead and roll. Let's see what happens.
Yep. Gonna open myself up to more danger, probably. Yeah, that's a whole lot of danger for me, because I rolled Snake Eyes for a total of 4.
Yipes!
Which, just because it's just popped in my head, can I, if I like try to ping something to Lefla right now and communicate with them, like, are we still blocked?
No, that's gone now.
Okay.
She's just doing you a frighten.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Oh man. Okay. Yeah. So Lefla, you were trying to refer to the map. Are
Yeah.
you with Smith? Like, are you guys sticking together? Are the three of you, I guess, since Raven is with you now? Are you sticking together, or?
I think that was gonna be the plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Try to be inconspicuous, but like stop and get coffee. You know, at all the coffee places that are on campus.
Okay. At the Moon Dollars coffee.
Moon dollars. Yep.
Yep, that's what it's called. That's what I said. Oh no.
Moon dollars.
Why do you guys let me make jokes?
No, it's a good one.
Don't say it. Okay, listen, you can't lie on the internet.
Yeah, I
But
can.
no.
It's in my notes now. Oh my gosh. Okay. So yeah, Smith, you go ahead and roll to
Yeah,
read
maybe
your
there,
bad situation.
maybe there won't be any danger to worry about.
Well, if there is, Lefla sure doesn't see it.
Pretty sure I rolled it into existence.
Yeah.
Whether or not it was there before.
Now, I'm just gonna assume that my like +1 forward to prevent the vision that I have from coming true is only gonna apply when I'm like actually like doing something like more directly towards like doing this right now is not actually helping the thing, preventing it from coming true.
I'm gonna say the roll earlier was because you were like directly asking about it to try to like pick up that thread. I'm gonna say it has to be pretty directly related to like something, either finding information related to the crystal or like acting on it, or acting on someone that you know is acting on it, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, actually, I guess it's +1 forward, not +1 ongoing. So I only got it once. Now that I think about it.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. So my guess is that I don't get the +1 again. Because it's not like read a bad situation, you get +1 ongoing while the information is relevant.
Yeah.
This is +1 forward, so I guess I only
So it's
got
just on the next.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
That's
forward's
fine.
just on the next roll.
That was I think that was a good use for it because it got
was,
me
yeah.
somewhere important.
Well, I don't think you get to choose when to use the forward. I think it's just on your next roll.
That makes sense. Okay. Roll. I'm not putting this off enough. Roll plus sharp.
Roll your ding dang dice.
Well,
what the
fuck.
fuck?
Well, fuck.
Tell the people what you rolled.
I rolled a 5.
Yeah, we both rolled about as bad as we could.
It's about as bad as we could.
Okay.
And
what
on
happens?
you might
On a miss, you misread the situation.
or you might reveal tactical details to your enemies, which means the keeper can ask the above questions of you.
Are there any dangers you haven't noticed?
I don't know.
I'm goofing. Oh boy. Okay. This is taking a turn I didn't think it was gonna take, but we're gonna go there. Because I am nicer with my hard moves than I should be.
We're about to get arrested.
So the three of you,
Again.
start to make your stop getting arrested. You make your way sort of around the edges of three of you, moving as a group. Very, very touristy, like Lefla, sort of checking the map every now and then. And oh man, Smith, you make it, I think, about 3/4 of the way around. And you, I think, can see now that you are close this kind of vaguely like shimmering barrier kind of extending above the wall and the gates that are leading into like the central campus area and kind of doming over. It's, it's not just like strobing or anything, but I think once you get close to it, you can kind of see that big sort of magical barrier. And I think about 3/4 of the way around it, there is a spot that is discolored, that you see, that I think you interpret as like a weakness in the barrier.
I subtly, I guess I had to telepathically to Lefla. I say, there's looks like a weak point over there. Might be a good place for us to slip in unnoticed.
Right. Looking over there, does it coincide with any kind of real world aberration in it being a wall, or?
It doesn't. So it's because you can't see the barrier. So yeah, to you it just looks like there's a spot in the wall. There is no gate or anything on this side. But Smith, to you it looks like kind of just above the edge of the wall there's a weak point in there. So you probably have to go over.
Well, that is an option if talking our way through doesn't work. But I don't know how our dwarfy friend feels about dwarf tossing.
I think Raven kind of looks at you. They have this very like stoic face. It's hard to read. They look at you, and they look between the two of you. And they look at Smith, and then they look towards like where you indicated the weak point in the barrier is, and then they try to subtly, I think, kind of put out their hand in front of them, and they snap, and then there's just like this small flame that's in their hand, and they're like, and they just kind of shrug like, eh.
Were they indicating towards the spot on the wall?
Yep.
Or
Kind of like, I mean, I can throw this fire at it.
perhaps later? I think we are going to try being slightly more subtle first. I get that this is one of the most magical places in the universe, but how much have we seen just like magic happening around?
I think a lot, actually. I think all of the sort of lighting that you've encountered has been like floating sparkly orbs, and there's hoverboards.
Mm-hmm. But in terms of people just like
And-
firing off spells in the middle of the street.
I think, I mean, there aren't people like dueling in the middle of the street or anything, but I think I think you have passed like these shops where the bookkeepers will like sort of gesture to books and like pull them off the shelves like telekinetically. Like it's very diagonally. Yeah, I don't think there's any kind of like major magic, there's something like destructive happening, but it seems fairly commonplace, like sort of
Okay.
telekinesis, or like people like, you know, lighting up torches and things like that, and seems pretty standard.
Okay.
Small magical acts, I think.
So it wouldn't be that out of place, but probably still fairly out of place to just shoot fire at the wall.
Yeah,
Okay.
they just kind of shrug at you and blow the fire out. Like,
It's a good thought, though. Let's see how this goes first, but that is a weak point there.
Looking at the map, does that spot seem to correlate with anything on the inside of the wall?
nope.
Okay. Alright, let's complete that circuit and then go try and find the least manned entrance. Fewer people for me to have to talk my way past.
All right. I think I saw that over this way.
You make your way that way, I assume, to try to talk your way in to something. So you approach one of the secondary lesser manned gates into the city, and as you do this, even as you approach, I think next to you, Raven tenses up just a little bit, as almost immediately as you approach, I think you see two guards sort of look your way, kind of tracking your movements. I mean, you're noticeable within the city. Again, like, there are people who aren't dwarves here. They're sort of few and far between. that they are like watching you very closely.
Before we were approaching, Leffler would have pulled out their medical bags so that it was much more visible. I almost want to say they put on just like the old school doctor's hat. It's just like the the red circle with the white plus in it.
Okay.
But it's trying to look as medically professional as possible as we approach the gates.
Okay. You approach the gates. Smith and Raven, I assume, following close behind. Smart.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, you approach the gates, and I think there are 2 guards there ready to receive you. And I think Raven is sort of looking around, kind of eyes darting back and forth. And Smith, I think you feel this this tug on your jacket from below you where they are, and as they start to point, all of you.
Both of us?
Yeah, both of you. And Raven, because they're with you. And they feel this like stinging sensation all of a sudden. And Leffla, you I think drop your bag in surprise as very, very quickly and out of nowhere, sort of wrapped around the both of you is kind of this glowing, almost like tether that stings, doesn't do any sort of damage to your outsides, but is kind of holding you, Smith arms and Leffla vines sort of very, very tight, almost like a lasso of some kind, and Raven too, and they're kind of standing there and they just look up at you, Smith, and like as the people holding them or sort of having conjured these tethers sort of walk up to you and very, very stoically, like almost kind of emotionless faces, one of them just kind of looks at you and says, "You're going to need to come with us."
I should hope so, Professor. Insert the actual name here of the. And now I'm blanking on the actual name. Epidemiology department summoned me here a week ago. I need to get in to see them. I do not think they would appreciate this holdup, whatever this is.
Right. It would be in your best interest not to lie anymore.
I think this is a big misunderstanding.
Come with us. And they start to like tug on these tethers and kind of forcing you to walk through the gates.
Hey, we made it.
Which is where you wanted to go. And then sort of off to they're sort of like dragging you through the center of the campus. Change of music, but I don't know what to change it to. Something dramatic. Anyway, you are being sort of dragged through the center of campus, held by some sort of magic tethers. Do you do anything?
I guess telepathically to Leffla, should we blow our cover here or just see where they're going to take us first?
Not yet. Let's see where they take us. Savvy, would you say this counts as whenever a monster captures you, you mark experience? It's part of one of my mundane moves.
What are these people like?
They are dwarven and magical and
Are they Nazis?
law enforcement types.
So monsters.
What an interesting question you have asked me. Yeah, I'm gonna say go ahead and mark experience.
So we know they're the monsters now. You're our monster detection. Is we just throw you at people, and if you get XP, we know they're monsters.
It's like throwing a Magikarp against in a fight and just getting them to pity XP. But I think as we are going along, so after that telepathic communication saying, let's see where it goes for now, I would like to try and empath one of them.
Okay, go ahead.
To see if I can pick up anything more specific about where we're being taken.
Absolutely.
Well, to nobody's surprise, that's a failure. That's a 3.
Okay.
So, brain is overwhelmed with emotions.
Smith, what are you feeling right now?
What am I feeling right now?
Mm-hmm.
Frustrated, in pain because I do still have 2 harm. Maybe a bit hungry. Angry.
Okay. I think, like, cranked up to 11, you feel all of those things. Lefla.
I think it is probably enough. Like, as much as Leffler is getting used to his backfiring, I think is going to try and play this up, and like a soccer player is going to just kind of stumble and fall to the ground to see what that causes the guards to do.
Okay.
Just wincing in pain.
Okay. Yeah, you kind of lean into what you've got to work with, and as you are laying on the ground, the tether kind of comes to its natural end, and you feel it kind of jerk, and the dwarf stops, turns back and looks at you, and doubles down and just continues pulling.
How many guards are there?
Kind of drag you across the dirt. On you, there are
Like total that are escorting us right now.
Yeah, so there's 1, 2, 3, 1 pulling each of you, and then 2 more kind of following behind.
Do they look well armed?
They all have arms.
What about weapons?
Weapons. Like, do I see weapons or?
Visibly, no.
But this is the most magical place in the universe.
This is the most magical place in the universe.
I really have this instinct when they're looking, when they stop and turn around, when they're focused on Lefla, to...
I will say it's only the one that was pulling Lefla. The other 2 that have tethers on you and Raven, and the other ones just keep going.
Yeah.
And they're kind of dragging Lefla along, not even really reacting to what's happening.
I telepathically send a message to both Raven and Lefla and just say, this might be a dumb question. Do you think we can take him?
I am not particularly effective right now.
Does Raven have anything to contribute here?
They have a generally irritated look on their face, I think, but they just kind of subtly, I think, like shake their head.
Just keep...
And then they kind of think, and they shake their head.
Ah. Damn it. Fine. I keep getting pulled along.
Okay. Lefla, do you get at any point?
Yeah, I think would try and, after about 10 or 20 feet of being dragged, just like, okay, and kind of get back up and move under my own power.
Okay. Yeah, there is not a whole lot of reaction to what you guys are doing, and they pull you along. They pull you through between some buildings, through kind of the streets. There are not many people around in this sort of main area past the gates. Every once in a while you'll see somebody kind of moving from one building into another, but not not anything like the crowds of the city below. Very, very sparse as far as people go, but they move you, pulling you through the cobblestone streets, through a large set of wooden doors into a large sort of brick building with a few spires on it, a clock tower in the middle. Down a hallway, down a set of stairs in this building, and into a room with nothing in it. Just an empty room. And they sort of move the three of you into it. The tethers are released, and they walk out. They shut the door behind them.
Just like we planned.
Well, we are in now, but going to have to figure out a way to get either out of here or wait and see who shows up for us.
Yeah. That's one thing we could do, or we could just try to break out and then run around on our own.
Somehow I doubt they will be as courteous if they find us running loose in here.
I know, we're just doing a lot of waiting for people to come and talk to us, and I'm getting kind of tired of being dragged around all over the place. No offense. I look over to Raven.
Oh, they shake their head.
So, yeah, I mean, I'll go with the group consensus here.
I mean, I suppose it's worth looking into if we can even get out of here. And I want to approach the door, and is there anything I could, mess with my multi-tool, or is it
There is
no
not
handle
even
on this side?
not even a handle on your side.
But there is like a door. Something that
Yep.
opened.
Something that opened at one point.
All right. I can give this another shot.
Are you going to try and improve your track record with doors?
Yeah, something like that.
I'll be waiting over here to apply first aid.
Okay. All right. Focus.
Raven tugs on your jacket again.
I look back.
And they just summon a little bit of fire in their hand, like,
Yeah, do you want to help? You got something I can push?
they're just gonna hold up the fire, like,
Oh. Could you melt the door?
they kind of shrug, like, I could try.
Why don't I try this first? And if it works, you can shoot anyone that comes in. Doesn't work, then we can try your way.
Just hear a small sigh.
I promise you will get to set something on fire. One
Explode
way
out.
or another.
Shake their head.
All right.
I don't know why I made Raven like a pyromaniac, but
I
that's
love
what
it.
you got.
I love it. Okay. Stand back. Jethro focuses, kind of building up that adrenaline, trying to get back in the zone of what happened that last time, and tries to push using their telekinesis.
Okay,
I'm going to roll weird.
do it.
Hey, that's a success.
The 7.
Yep.
All right.
So on a 7, you move it, but it hurts. Choose one option and mark 2 harm. So here's my question for you: is that
Yes.
if I choose to suffer, with the telekinesis, I get to choose an option on the list.
Yes.
But it says you move it and choose an option. Like, if I choose the option of suffering 1 less harm, does just nothing happen here? Or do I just not get one of the bonus effects of the... Because it's a little meta, like, but I just...
Yeah, no. So the understanding is that if you roll a 10 plus or you roll a 7 plus 9, you move what you set out to move. So like the sort of initial, I don't know. The move is built to move stuff.
I guess as anything not
Um,
picked is not true.
And then
so
yeah, so like you move something. If you succeed or you partially succeed, you move something, and then you can also gain one of those extra
Okay.
options in addition to that.
So the understanding here is that if I don't choose the option to fling something bigger than a person, then I cannot move something that is bigger than a person. Because anything not picked is not true.
Well, isn't that complicated?
But also, this is presumably a dwarf-sized door.
Yeah,
It
that's
is.
a question.
Or a bigger person.
Can I move this without choosing that option?
Yeah,
is what I'm
I'll
is what I'm
say-
asking basically.
Yeah.
Okay, then I would like to suffer one
Yeah,
less
I
harm.
think you can't like I think those stipulations are really built for like combat and things like that. You can push the door open. You're not going to be able to like fling it across the room and like hurt something, but can you move it enough to open it and also not hurt yourself as much? Yes.
Okay, then I'd like to do that, and I will take 1 harm, which puts me at 3 harm. So Smith isn't looking great right now.
He's having a rough day.
I think you do see there's a little more blood like running out of one of his ears.
Yeah.
but does grunt a lot and forces the door open a little bit.
You do force the door open. It's difficult, but yeah, I think you are able to kind of shove one edge of it open. So it is now partially ajar.
And I think seeing if there's, a fresh blood trickle or a new one, I think Leth is going to dig in their bag and just say, we'll have to take a look at that later, but here, this is a coagulant. It should help for a little bit. And just quickly, pull together a little syringe and, poke Smith in the thigh. And I'm trying to do first aid and also use the seedling thing where I get to heal them faster than usual.
Okay. Yeah. You can, with the seedling special move, yeah, you can first aid faster than normal. So
Is that
you heal
1?
1, yeah.
Okay. All right.
First aid under pressure.
If you keep doing this, I may have to stick a needle in your brain, which won't be very much fun for you. But again, that's an issue for a later time.
I can't imagine it would hurt any worse than what's going on right now. Yeah, let's go before someone notices that.
All right.
I'm going to pop open the map and see if I can figure out, based on what labels there are, where we are and where we should be trying to get to.
Yeah, you can. So you are in essentially in this main campus. There is one sort of very large building in the center, and then several buildings kind of encircling it around the edge. So you are in one of these smaller buildings, kind of off to the eastern side, on a subterranean floor, a basement, a dungeon, if you will, a sublevel in a hallway.
All right. Does your map help here?
Yes, something that I think we probably would have asked, but didn't actually do it in character at the time, is asking Kaylin where her brother's office would be or where she expects we might find him.
Your understanding is that if he still holds the position he did before all this went down, that is going to exist in that main building on the higher floors.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna quickly scroll through the map and see if there are any subterranean tunnels connecting the buildings, or if we're gonna have to venture back outside to get over there.
There are. So from where you are, you can go back up the stairs, sort of in the direction that you came from. There is also, it looks like, sort of connecting these buildings, not like sewers or anything, but almost like tunnels that were built to kind of avoid even having to go outside. So that sort of crisscross underneath the buildings, kind of connecting one to each building, and then a couple all sort of meeting in the center.
Right, so I'm gonna reposition the map and just kind of be like, okay, This is where we want to go to get into the main building, which means that way.
All right, lead on.
Raven nods.
I'll watch your 6.
That's just me as Raven giving you funny looks, not knowing what that means. Yeah, you move sort of down this hallway towards another sort of large wooden door. Lefla, that you know is the correct door, opening it into a tunnel that, from where you can see on the map, is going to lead you to a subfloor of this main building. It's quiet. It's lit dimly, with these sort of orbs of light kind of interspersed down the wall.
Alright. Given how magical this place is, I think we should assume they know that we have left our cell. They may even have some form of eyes on us, but should also try and take this quickly but quietly would be my suggestion.
Yeah. I was looking to see if there's anything that I could do to help here, but I don't think so. Can I try to, using my telekinesis, to read a bad situation again, or not telekinesis, my telepathy, to enhance my read a bad situation? Maybe trying to pick up on like thoughts and people that are around. Maybe.
Sure.
Let's see if this goes better than the last time.
Roll sharp.
Okay, 12.
Okay.
So
you hold 3.
yeah. So yeah, giving the information that like Lefla is seeing here, I want to see, are there any dangers that we haven't noticed?
Okay. Let's see. I think as you sort of open the door into this tunnel, I think Smith, you notice once you make your way up to the door, just very briefly, this magical energy that you can theoretically see with your sight, but up above the orbs of light kind of interspersed at different intervals down the tunnel, there are these smaller orbs that aren't kind of visible to the naked eye, and you get there aren't like types of magic or anything in this game. I think you get the distinct feeling that you are being watched, or you would be if you got too close to any of them.
Okay, so they haven't. I don't think they've currently seen us.
No.
All right.
But they might.
What's the best way in?
You essentially have 2 options if you're talking about getting into the main building or getting into the tunnel. Because there's one way into the tunnel.
Hey, we're trying to get into the building, right? Or where are we trying to go right now?
So this tunnel is the most direct way into the building without going back outside.
Okay. So trying to figure out what's the best way into the tunnel to avoid the camera? Well, is there a better way to get where we need to go without that? We might avoid the cameras.
I'm messing with you. If you are just going to sort of walk into the tunnel, they're going to see you. So your options are either sort of to disable them, or to find some way to make yourselves either unseen or to look like you're supposed to be in there. If you walk into this tunnel, unless there is some sort of like major magical intervention, they're going to see you.
Okay. You might have already answered my third question then, but I'll go ahead and ask it: is what's most vulnerable to me? I'm assuming it's the sensors, but I don't know if I can get more information on like what they might be vulnerable to like disable them.
Yeah, I would say I think you can see so you can see the small sensors, and then I think getting sort of close to the door you can see these small kind of tendrils of light coming off of them. You're not super familiar with magic. I think you are super familiar with surveillance. And they have to be connected to something, right? Like the picture has to be showing up on somebody's magic TV, I think, in Smithford.
Sure.
So I think you can see these like small tendrils of light kind of coming back toward, kind of running almost like wires, I think, kind of running across the ceiling through the door that is in front of you, and down the hallway, kind of into another room.
Okay, so the sensors, whatever is going to be alerted, is in the direction that we are going.
No.
Okay.
The opposite is what
The
I said.
opposite direction of where
I
we're
think
going.
so. Yeah. So you see these sensors, and the energy or whatever that they are connected to is coming from the door where you currently are and back into this hallway, sort of into another room that is behind you.
Okay, gotcha. So yeah, I'd point that out and say, hold on. There are sensors or something up ahead. We're not going to be able to get past without them being seen. Looks like they go back that door.
Alright, we can go try and disable them. If that doesn't work, Raven, are you able to do that tether thing and perhaps pretend to be a guard and lead us down the tunnel?
I think they kind of think for a minute, and then they kind of like nod and shrug, like, probably.
Do you feel more confident about us taking out whoever's in that room, or going down the room? Okay, yeah, that sounds better. All right. Raven and I'll take point, Lefla, unless you're feeling frisky and you want to go in first.
I mean, I have some sedatives prepared, as I've learned to whenever we go on our missions, but yes, I imagine you two should take point.
I pull out from my boot my big knife that I tucked in there because I left all my guns in the van.
You did.
Go, all right. Let do. And kind of go, like, skulk up to the door, knife out, Rambo style. Wait till Raven takes their position and has their fire ready, and just goes. And then we breach.
All right, you
Slice
count
the
off.
pie.
You breach, you slice the pie, and you make your way into this room, and oh man, cutting it hard here with my timing. I think we're gonna go ahead and end there for
Okay.
tonight a little bit early.
Boss fight.
On the edge of glory. Smith, you count off, and Raven gets their fire ready. Lefla sort of bringing up the rear. You breach this door, and we cut to black, and we'll find out what happens next time.
You don't want to do a 25-minute scene going through everything that Periwinkle has done?
We are also going to talk about that next time.
Okay.
You just get this brief, like, after credits sort of cut of Periwinkle just like sitting in an advisor's office, like with a schedule in front of her, like sort of talking back and forth about the classes that she's going to be taking this semester.
And then the door bursts open.
Surprise! No. But here we are. I think Periwinkle is sitting in this this meeting with somebody who works for the academy, and close up on the earpiece from Gemma that is still in her ear, and she gets some sort of notification that you have been compromised.
Oh, so they did get my message.
They got your message, and so I think she hears that the Aegis team on Dryoct has been compromised, and there is a little bit of chatter, and coming across the comms from far away, from all you can hear from the camera shot, is the words "abandoned mission." No, it really cut to black. It's very dramatic.
Well,
You rolled bad, son.
yeah. Do I still get my pension if I get? Oh no, I was 1 year. What did I say last time?
But if you're dead,
No, if I get fired. Because I think Smith might be losing his job.
you're in a little bit of trouble here.
Yeah.
But yeah. Let's go back to the other music. Or this, so we can do our end of session. Thanks for watching, everybody. And thanks for playing,
Thank you for running it.
my friends. And we have, at the end of each session, the keeper will ask the following: did we conclude the current mystery?
Yes.
I would love to hear the yes opinion.
I don't see. I think we fixed it. I don't see how it could get any more fixed. No, no, I don't think we did.
I don't either. Did we save someone from certain death
From
or
curtain
worse?
death?
Did you save anyone from current death? Did you save someone from certain death or worse?
The dwarves just save themselves with their phylacteries.
Yeah.
The most magical place in the universe.
Yeah, I don't feel bad about killing anyone here because they're just gonna pop back up.
So far as you know. So far as Lefla knows, because she wasn't lying.
Yep.
I don't think we saved anyone except for ourselves, and I don't think we really saved ourselves. I think we put ourselves in a worse situation.
I was trying to think of something just because I want to give you guys XP. Did you learn something new and important about the world?
Yep.
Yeah. Learned about
They said uninterested.
learned about dwarf politics and reincarnation or phylactery, that all dwarves are liches.
Apparently.
All right. And
Hashtag
we
all
learn
dwarves are liches.
Hashtag all dwarves are liches, which is what we're going to tweet next time. Did we learn something new and important about one of the hunters?
I'm trying to figure out whether the Lefla being able to like tell when people are lying sort of thing. I guess it hasn't been like fully confirmed. Is that
Yeah,
if
I mean,
we're
you just kind of took Lefla at their word that they were like, she's lying.
yeah. I mean, I don't think Smith had any reason to doubt, but I definitely think there's a little bit of like, wait, how?
You're like, wait, I went along with that, but
Yeah.
Yeah. That's definitely a new development though.
Yeah.
It's okay. Your body's going through so many changes. It's understandable. You're not thinking about others.
Yeah. Well, Smith is hitting his second puberty. It just assumes everyone else is.
Yeah. No, we'll say yes on that one. So that's two. So 1 XP.
Okay.
Ooh, I improved.
Yay! You
Nice.
both improved this week.
Yeah.
This is why you do things where you fail.
From
Yeah.
the
Like
my
failures.
empath.
Yeah.
This is great about this game. Even if you fail, you still get something.
Well, it's nice about the empath is that when you fail, it's not like a huge downside. You just get
Yeah.
aimed or well, you don't take 2 damage every time you fail the move.
Yeah, the
Jeez.
disparity is pretty large.
That's nasty with telekinesis.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
We
I
might have to
also-
talk about those.
Well, on the other side of things, I don't get all that much on a success
Yeah,
anyway.
that's true. Like I can deal damage and like throw people and stuff like that. I think it's a risk reward sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's fun.
All right.
I upped my weird, by the way. I don't know if anyone. That's what I did with my
For your improvement?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Alex,
so-
do you think you know what you're gonna take?
I'm considering just one of the basic stat ones. So at the start of this session, because I had improved after last time, I upped my cool. which
Mhm.
leaves me sharp or tough, or I could do the advanced one and up my weird so I'd stop having a negative to it, which I may go with that one. But yeah, I'm probably just going with a stat because it's either that, regain a used luck point, or one of the super advanced ones.
Oh, I forgot you can regain a luck point on something.
Yeah. There are
How are
four
we
total
doing
options
on
for
luck, kiddos?
I never asked you. Did I get my luck point back when I changed classes? Or
No.
okay, so
Nope.
I've
those
still
stay gone.
I've only used one.
I've used two. There was I think it was one in the witches, and then one with the
Oh, I lied.
the
I used two.
shifter.
Yeah, so we both used two then.
Okay. We're still good to go. I don't think Periwinkle's used any. I'm not gonna say that for her though, but yeah. Well, the real cliffhanger is, what is Alec gonna choose when he improves?
I mean, I said probably one of the
Find
boring
out next
stat
time.
ones.
No, it's very dramatic. It's all very dramatic.
+1 to my drama stat.
Here on the show. +1 to drama. But yeah, thanks for playing, you guys. And next time we'll have Morgan, aka Periwinkle, back. So we'll figure out how to do that. I only think of cliffhangers in the moment and not how they're gonna resolve. So she'll magically appear as a plot device. And it'll be
I'm
fine.
sure.
Because that's how I roll. But yeah, thanks for playing. You guys had fun. Thanks to our friends out there on the internet for watching and hanging out with us. And yeah, we'll be back in 2 weeks for the exciting conclusion of the busting down of the door and seeing what all is going on here in Nachtad Glen, the center of the Dwarven universe, the most magical place in the universe.
The
But yeah.
most magical place in the universe.
The most magical place in the universe. Until then, check out our schedule if you're here with us on Twitch below our faces. We have some D&D coming up on Saturday with our regularly scheduled Saturday nights. We've got some more Monster of the Week run by yours truly. Can't get enough. Can't stay off the internet or out of the Monster of the Week on Sunday afternoon as well, so check those out. And then lots of other stuff during the week, Wednesdays, and more D&D and video games and Tidefall and all kinds of things. And listen to our podcasts while you're waiting on our streams. We have two, and they're very good, if I do say so myself, because I'm in both of them. But yeah, we're glad you're here with us, and we'll see you next time. Any final words? I mean,
Help.
any parting words for our lovely audience?
Stay hydrated
that's
and
what
get
it
your
is.
flu shot.
Very good.
Stay in
hydrated,
school.
Stay in school, and get your flu shot. And if you do, come back in 2 weeks and tell us, and we'll give you a nice shout out on stream because you're doing the good work. That's all I got. We'll be back in 2 weeks, and until then, good game and good night, internet.
Good night, internet.
Internet.